Ang tanong ng marami, why would Senator Amy Marcos go as far to defend the Dutertes, to stand by the Dutertes, no, over your own brother? You've been quoted as saying, Senator Amy Marcos has said, I cannot bear what was done to President Duterte. And yet, ang tanong ng ilan, what about the Vice President threatening to have your brother assassinated? Or the Vice President threatening to throw your father's remains in the West Philippine Sea? So, people are confused. Bakit siya kumakampi sa hindi niya kamag-anak, kapatid niya, at ang kapatid niya na namumuno ngayon ng bansa, bakit niya inaaway?
Ako, Karen,
ang sagot doon, Senator.
Hindi mo ako magagawang defensive kasi wala akong kasalanan at wala akong ipagtatanggol sa ginawa ko. Eto, wala itong kinalaman sa Marcos o Duterte. Sabihin ko ang totoo, ito ay soberanya ng Pilipinas. Hindi ko matanggap I cannot accept what happened. It was clearly a challenge and an insult to our sovereignty, to the functioning courts and our exemplary judges. And I cannot accept that this was the right thing to do. It had very, very little to do with being a Marcos versus the Dutertes. Kinakampihan, sabi mo, para sa akin, wala akong kinakampihan. Kinakampihan ko ang Pilipinas. Dahil hindi tama ang nangyari. On a personal note, ang nakita ko lamang ang nangyari sa tatay ko. Ganyan na ganyan din ang ginawa sa ama ko, tinangay ang aking pamilya, dinala sa Hawaii, at para sa akin hindi katanggap-tanggap yun. Like President Duterte, my father announced time and again that he was prepared to face any Philippine court, but not a foreign court, given that all the alleged crimes and offenses were committed in Philippine territory against Filipino citizens. Ano naman ang pakialam ng dayuhan sa ating usapin? Nakita naman natin lahat ng tinangay na mga testigo, ang dokumento, lahat ng deposition nanggaling sa Pilipinas at dinala sa The Hague. Bakit hindi na lang natin ginawa dito? May nagsabi nga sa akin imported na nga yung rice, imported pa yung hustisya. Ano ba nangyayari sa bansa natin? Wala na ba ang Pilipinas?
Okay, but then Senator, you also have Duterte's crimes against humanity.
We are not denying, I am not in any way judging, denying, I'm not standing as his attorney. I have no doubt that there are actions that need to be answered for, but to my mind, given that the accused is Filipino, that the victims were Filipino, all the alleged crimes were committed in the territory of the Philippines, bakit hindi na lang dito? Kaya naman natin yan kung ano-ano na ang nangyari dito sa atin, bansa, na alam naman natin ang ampatuan, ang mamasapano, ang kung ano-ano na talagang kinakailangan panagutan. At nakita naman natin, nakinaya naman ang husgado natin yan. Bakit naman ito? Takot na takot tayo. Baka kaduwagan na imbes na dito sa Pilipinas, kinakabahan, kaya walang bisa muna yung ating judiciary at tinangay sa ibang bansa. Hindi naman maganda yun. Ayoko naman sabihin na wala nang pakinabang dito. Isara na natin lahat ng korte.
Okay.
So, para sa akin, wala ito sa pamilya At pinipilit nila na pumanig ako sa kaapelyido ko o pumapanig sa mga kaibigan ko. Walang ganun Para sa akin, ang tama ay tama, ang mali ay mali.
Okay.
So, paglaban ng tama, itama ang mali. Sorry na lang, iisa na lang tayo dyan.
Alright, Senator, sinabi niyo ilaban ang tama, ang mali ay mali. And yet, you have Vice President Sara Duterte endorsing you. And the sitting Vice President, frankly speaking, refuses to answer or to account for how she spent confidential funds. She has names in her confidential funds like Mary Grace Piatos. I mean, pagkain na yung maraming nakapirma doon sa mga resibo. Pera po ng bayan yun. So, ang tanong rin ng marami on social media, why would you tolerate the Vice President refusing to hold herself into account, and here you are defending her and having your hand, kumbaga inendorso ka po pa niya. Don't you think she should answer?
I don't know when I defended her. Hindi ako nagtatanggol sa kanya tungkol dito sa kung ano-anong aligasyon tungkol sa confidential funds. First of all, hindi ako pwede mag-comment dyan kasi kung sakasakali, itutuloy na yan at manalo ako, magiging huwes ako dyan. So I'm unable to comment on that. And I certainly haven't defended her dahil I think she's more than competent to defend herself. She has a whole slew of lawyers all set to go. And I think we will have to hear the evidence when it finally reaches the Senate, and if I do finally reach the Senate.
Okay. Now, Senator, it hasn't been easy for the Marcos family to come back into public office, right? It was very hard for your family. So you have many wondering, now that your brother is president, you are a re-electionist as a senator, and you are a performing senator. Why would this be the time that you and your brother are not united to essentially rebuild the legacy of your father, right? To change, in effect, even the memory of your father's administration. The 6 years could have been spent rebuilding, remaking, changing the country. Why?
But that's not what happened, Karen. That's precisely the problem. Pinaglaban namin ng 36 years. It's been a very, very long and arduous climb back into legitimacy and not necessarily power, but more importantly, political acceptance. Apakahaba ng panahon, dekada-dekada, halos 4 na dekadong pinaglaban to. At talagang inasahan ko na mababalik ang pangalan. Sabi ko nga, napakaswerte namin. Nagkaroon ng second chance. At talagang inaasahan ko na magkakaroon ng pagbangon ng aming pamilya. Pero ang nangyari ay ibang-iba, kaya nalugmok kami lahat. At hindi lang naman itong pagkakataon na to. Marami kasing mga bumubulong sa kapatid ko, malayong-malayo na ako, tinataboy kami, hinaharang kami, hindi na ako nakapag-usap. Ang totoo, I've never fought with him. Hindi naman kami nag-aaway kahit kailan. At hindi naman kami nagsagutan. Ang mahirap, yung mga nasa paligid. Hindi ko sinasabi sa paligid lang ng kapatid ko, kundi siguro doon din sa paligid ng kabila, nagbabanata, nagbabardagulan. But certainly, this was not the Marcos administration that we expected. At napakadaming disappointed. Unang-una ang ating mga magsasaka. They really felt that there would be a renaissance in farming, instead of which there's been a massive glut in importation, smuggling, and the increasing dependence on imported foods. So this is really unacceptable and, as it were, very un-Marcos. Ang expectations ng 31 million, ibang-iba, that there will be infrastructure, for example, pero nauwi lahat ng infrastructure sa sangkatutak na ayuda, na yung pala mauuwi yan ay puro palakasan kung sino ang magaling, at higit sa lahat i-release sa panahon ng eleksyon. Hindi ito ang pinaglaban namin. At may mga Ilocano nga na mga loyalist na nagsasabi, alam niyo ma'am, inapi kami. Which is true, inapi kami after 1986, maraming natanggal sa trabaho, nasisante ang mga military, tinanggal ang hanap buhay nila. Kahirap-hirap, basta sabihin mo taga Ilocos ka, taga Leyte ka, talagang mahihirapan ka. Ngayon, sabi niya, pinaglaban ba natin para apihin din ang mga Dabawenyo? Hindi naman ugali natin yung mang-api. Wag naman natin ulitin kasi yung siklo hindi na matatapos. I agree with him. This highly toxic and dangerous cycle of political vindictiveness is very, very sad. It's tragic for our republic.
But then one would think it starts with your family, right? When you talk about political vindictiveness with the Marcos and Duterte, the public is asking, bakit sila hindi nag-uusap? 'Di ba? Senador ang kapatid, presidente ang kapatid.
Sinabi ko nga. Oo, sinabi ko nga. Yeah, sorry. I said earlier, maraming naghaharang, maraming ambisyoso. When I was very young, sinabi ko, na very controversially, sinabi ko that the palace is a snake pit. I think I was all of 15 years old and just shooting off the mouth. And certainly, yung palasyo ngayon is no different. Lumala lang, siguro dumami pa yung ahas, yung mga lulong, kung sino-sino nandyan. It's become a struggle for power, and many ambitious people are auditioning for the presidency in 2028. Sabi ko nga sa kanila, hindi ba pwedeng patapusin muna yung kapatid ko ng maayos? Wag naman kayo masyadong nagmamadali. Yun lang ang pakiwari ko. Medyo harang na ako, malayo-layo na ako. Hindi ko mapagsabihan, but this hasn't only happened now. I've had many problems with a great number of policies. Among them, yung pagpasok sa RCEP, which I felt should have been a trade deal with our agricultural sector. Wala naman nangyari. Ano ba naman? Yung mga nakinabang olive oil. Meron bang ganun sa Pilipinas? Napatawa naman ako. Tapos yung Maharlika, ano ba yon? Sabi nung iba, vanity project. You only do that when there's a whole windfall from an oil exploration, perhaps nung time ng Malampaya. Ngayon, yung ating mga bangko, it's not the way to do it. Igagouge mo yung DBP at Land Bank. Mahirap yun Dapat talaga asikasuhin muna yung problema ng bansa. Yung tutok sa presyo, disenteng trabaho, yung mga ospital na talaga naman, anong sabi? Mona Lisa daw, you just lie there and you die there. Huwag naman ganon. So, tutukan natin ang tunay na problema at maghanap ng may solusyon.
Pero Senator, with everything you mentioned, it seems you are unsatisfied with President Marcos Jr.'s leadership because you cited specific examples where the president could have acted. So, you are not satisfied with how he's running the country.
Well, I'm not here to criticize the president, and certainly I'm very familiar with some of the policies. Being in the Senate, trabaho lang, nalalaman ko. Pag nakita ko, nung umpisa, tinetext ko siya, sinasabihan ko, pero mukhang ayaw na ayaw ng iba na makialam, kaya lumalayo na rin ako. Pero napipilitan ako when there are things such as the clear use of the GAA 2025, the budget. I was obliged to stand. It's absurd for us to sign in blank massive amounts being given in an election year in terms of ayuda. Hindi naman katanggap-tanggap yun. Tapos ito nga, yung pagtangay kay Presidente Duterte, parang nakita ko yung tatay ko Sabi ko, galit tayo nun, bakit tayo ngayon ang panimuno? Wag naman ganun. Hindi yata tama. Kaya't I think we should learn our lesson and not repeat this hideous and tragic cycle.
Okay, so learn our lesson. You've said that, no? You talked about the budget. It's been brought before the Supreme Court, a petition questioning essentially the budget, those alleged blanks in the budget, right?
Oh, they're not alleged. I saw them. That's why I never signed the BICAM.
Okay, so they're not alleged, they're blank. So if this has passed, the issue is, why is the president tolerating the speaker? That's the question. Why is the president, the administration tolerating?
I have no idea. I think you'll have to ask him that yourself.
Okay, but why do you think?
I can't gainsay a guess. I can simply say that perhaps there are those who give him the wrong information, perhaps, and there aren't enough of those who are more critical or perhaps more prudent in all these actions. So, marunong naman yung kapatid ko, kaya lang, eto nga, napapagbigyan yung mga masyadong ambisyoso, yung mga lulong sa kapangyarihan, lulong sa kadatungan, sabi nga nila, ayaw na ayaw ko yun Hindi mabuti yan at hindi nakakatulong. Pag nag-aaway-away kasi ang politiko, so palagay mo, may umayaman ba? May gumiginhawa ba sa mahihirap? Palagay ko, wala Kaya't mas maigi, tutukan na natin ang problema ng bansa. Tigilan na itong politikang napakawalang kwenta. Sa totoo lang, nakalimutan ko na yung kampanya ko Dahil natutok na nga ako dito sa ICC and the investigations and so many problems. The overseas Filipinos, for example, are all complaining about the online voting na napaka-hackable daw, hindi daw nila makita kung sino binoto nila. Ang daming nagre-reklamo, ang dami pang nagre-reklamo dyan sa ayuda na yan. Kasi bilyon-bilyon na nagagastos, hindi naman napupunta sa tunay na nangangailangan, kundi napupunta sa mga political coordinator daw. Nako.
Close your eyes. Now, imagine you could speak English like me. What new opportunities could you have? Try Toco today. You speak English with an AI for about 10 minutes a day. Build the confidence you need to achieve your dream.
Ano ba naman yan? Sayang na sayang ang pera. It's not like we had so much around and that we had no infrastructure, internet, we have so many needs and it's just going to the wrong purpose.
Okay. All right. You're quite clear with your issues. In the Senate, you're known as a performer as well. I mean, I've spoken with your colleagues, whether or not they are with you in party or independent. They say you are a performer and you know that as well. You have the agricultural sector also supporting you.
Well, ang dami-dami kong committee. Tinambak sa akin lahat ng committee. Ako lang yata yung ganun kadaming committee. 5 ang committee ko, plus meron pa akong vice chair sa finance. So, parati akong busy at ngarag na ngarag. So, I have the electoral reform, foreign relations, cooperatives. Ikot ako ng ikot. Tinitignan yung mga co-op sa agriculture. Apakarami kong trabaho. Nakakaloka actually.
So, Senator...
And, unfortunately, one of my committees is the Social Welfare Committee, where the ACAP and its most pernicious and notorious permutations lie. Hindi tumusot sa committee namin, biglang sumulpot sa BICAM, nagulat na lang kaming lahat.
Yeah, well, that's a given. I mean, I've tweeted about that too. ACAP is clearly questionable in all its essence, right? But this is my point is, given you are a performer, isa kayo sa mga senador na sinasabing you know what you're talking about is you're ranking very low in the surveys. And let's talk about this. You have experts saying there's an Amy Marcos identity crisis. That's a quote from one of the analysts. We're in.
Yes, I think I read it. Or at least I saw the title.
Okay.
But I don't have much time to look at surveys right now.
Yeah.
And napakaraming survey at nakakapagod na nga basahin. Pag umiikot ka naman, nararamdaman mo Alam na alam mo. Unang-una, talagang may problema ang administrasyon. It's very, very clear that the approval ratings of the administration are very, very bad, no? Napakababa dahil syempre, pag mataas ang bilihin, walang masyadong trabaho, talagang walang happy, ano? At dahil sa apelyido ko, Marcos rin ako, damay-damay talaga ako. Unfortunately, magkabila ang damay ko, collateral damage ako kapag nasisira yung administration. Tapos, binabanatan rin ako pag may Duterte issue kasi sinasabing kumakampi ako. Ang totoo, wala akong kinakampihan. Pag mali talaga, ayoko. Ganun lang yon. Manang ako Di ba? Pinapalo ka ng manang mo pag
pero
mali.
Senator, kung mali talaga, ayaw nyo, pero you've never spoken about the wrongdoings of former President Duterte. You've also never spoken about that.
I'm not. That's not true. I don't think that's right. I've said time and again that President Duterte should be heard here in the Philippines for the crimes that are alleged. Hindi ko sinasabi na inosente siya. Hindi naman ako baliw. Siya mismo na ina-admit nga niya Ano pang pag-uusapan niyan? Pag yung tao mismo sinasabi, ginawa niya talaga.
No, pero what I'm trying to say is...
One thing with the surveys is that clearly the administration's disapproval ratings are impinging on me. That's very clear. Marcos pa rin apelyido namin eh, pare-pareho lang kami. Ikalawa, yung problema na identity crisis, maraming ang hindi maniwala, baka political stunt lang itong sa Duterte. Pero para sa akin, masyado kong nararamdaman ang ama ko, yung tinangay sa abroad. Nangyari na sa amin eh, kaya ang lalim ng hugot ko.
Oh. Okay. So wait, I'll finish my thoughts. So you're saying that essentially because the Marcos administration's ratings are so low, it's affecting you right now.
Siyempre naman. Iisa lang naman
because you are a Marcos.
Oo naman.
Okay,
Oo
but
naman.
then why are some of those in Alianza rating high? If that's the reason.
Marami. Hindi naman sila ka-apelyido. They're not being punished in the same way that I am. And many of them have stayed out of the fray, which is the rule for senatorial candidates. Kapag tatakbo kang senador, stay quiet, stay sweet, and stay clean, no? Ang problema, nasabak ako sa sangkatutak na away, hindi ko maakalain na magkakaganito. And of course, yung identity crisis, syempre nakakalito dahil pinagtatanggol ko nga ang karapatan ni Presidente Duterte. Tulad ng ipagtatanggol ko lahat ng karapatan ng sino mang Pilipino. I think that will go across the board. I'm very, very worried. For example, for the over 1,100 OFWs na na-convict at na-preso sa ibang lugar. Lahat sila nagte-text yung mga kamag-anak. Sabi, paano to? Hindi na kami makakauwi. Kung yung presidente tinangay dyan, kami pa.
No, Senator, okay, but let's not go to that. Two things here. You talked about
Why
standing
not?
up.
Why not
No,
po?
I mean,
Why not po? I
you're-
think we're very, very concerned about our OFW.
Yes.
If you're not safe in your own country, paano na lang sila nasa ibang bansa?
Okay, now you said about speaking for what's right? And you said this isn't
Sorry?
about politics.
Sorry.
You talked about speaking for what is right. But during the time of former President Duterte, when there were accusations against Senator Laila De Lima, for example, and look at it now, Laila De Lima was detained for 6-7 years. All the witnesses recanted. It turned out they were bogus. You didn't stand up for that. You were silent. You were with Duterte.
During the Laila De Lima, hindi pa ako senador. Senador na ba ako?
2019.
2016.
Yeah.
Wala pa ako nun eh.
But 2019, you were number 8. You became a senator, yes. I mean,
Pero wala pang Laila De Lima. Wala na si Senator De Lima noon.
yes, nakakulong na siya.
Ang maliwanag, if you would look into the records of the Senate, I really stood up time and time again about the agricultural imports, particularly with regard to rice and the rice tariffication. I think I also participated in the Farmally and the other investigations on COVID overspending and corruption. I was always there. I don't think that it can be said that I stood by and watched just because President Duterte was in power. Let's not be absurd. I think my father said long ago that I was a born rebel. I was one of nature's rebels, sadly. And I can't accept it on face value. I have to ask. So even during the time of my dad, nagtatanong ako, matagal na to eh. Yung issue ng soberanya ng Pilipinas, masyado kong dinidibdib. Noong pa, nung nagkakaroon ng renegotiation, the military-based renegotiation with the Philippines and the U.S., together with the rest of the Kabataang Barangay, the ancient SK, nagrarally po kami sa harap ng U.S. Embassy. Matagal nang ayokong ganito eh. And yung tatay ko, galit na galit, pero I'm not one to stand by and watch. It's never happened, whether with President Duterte, my father, talagang mulat sa pool, ganyan na ako eh. Kaya sabi ko nga sa kanila, magtiisan tayo, pero tatayo ako pag mali na eh.
Okay, so when it comes to the alleged identity crisis, no, itong supposed identity crisis, I saw numbers in Mindanao and you are not in the top 12 in Mindanao, which is ironic because it's a Duterte bailiwick. Do you believe that you will get the Duterte votes because of what you have stood for? Because it seems that the Duterte votes are all with Bongo, Bato de la Rosa, and the irony are you have Philip Salvador, Jimmy Bontoc, personalities that, they're not re-electionists, but they're faring well in Mindanao. Bakit ganun, Senator? Why do you think are you not faring well in Mindanao?
Because I'm a Marcos. And that's very, very clear. It's very sad what's happened to our country. They have successfully split the country in half, making Luzon, to speak very broadly and generally, Luzon is anti-Duterte, Vismin is anti-Marcos. Ang sagwa nangyari, parati nating inoobserban, yung US, ibang bansa, very polarized. It's come to pass. It's here as well. It's very, very sad. On the other hand, to respond to your question, ang totoo, like I said earlier, wala itong kinalaman sa politika. Wala akong ginagawa bilang political stunt para magpapogi, para maging popular, para makakuha ng sangkatutak ng endorsement. Talagang tumatayo lamang dahil hindi ko matanggap itong pagdagok sa ating batas, sa ating saligang batas, sa ating soberanya.
Okay. Now, Senator, midterm elections are usually the president's elections. During the time of Duterte, by command votes, Bongo became number 3. He was a virtual unknown. Wouldn't this have been the time for you, honestly, to rank high in the Senate? And my next question is, do you believe this administration will make efforts to make sure you don't win? You don't get into the Magic 12?
Ay, si Bongo, mas lalong tumaas pa eh. Kung sinasabi mo number 3 siya noon, it's very clear he's running away at number 1 in a Marcos administration. So there's clearly some level of a protest vote. And like you said, even those who are not big celebrities in the national stage are suddenly ranking. And I believe that in Vismin, unfortunately, there will be some kind of protest vote against the administration. Whether I'm included or not, we will have to see. But I'm certainly not doing what I'm doing for politics. In fact, like you said very clearly, I'm not doing very well. But I think things are becoming clearer and clearer to our population at naintindihan na nila kung ano ang nangyayari at anong ginagawa. So, andyan, tignan natin kung anong mangyayari. Kung may plot, ika nga, may conspiracy, marami ako nababalitaan na there have been many people approaching us allegedly from the election office, allegedly from the operators, saying, in fact, some local government officials, saying that the palace has requested or perhaps stated that we shouldn't win, and those are Senator Camille Villar, myself, and Congressman Marcoleta. Ilang beses ko na yan naririnig, hindi ko na masyadong pinapansin. Ang akin na lamang, magtrabaho na lamang tayo, mahirap na maging praning. Praning na ako sa dami ng pangyayari. Kaya mas maigi, tumutok na lang, trabaho na lang, kayod na lang. Kung house to house lang ang kaya, edi house to house. Kung market tour, edi market tour, tiisan na lang.
But